So when do innovations have the best chances for success? So this is a very important topic. We're just going to touch on it a little bit, but it's important that you take away some of the key thoughts. Is there a time for innovation? And I was just pointing out a little bit earlier about Google not being the first company to come up with a search engine, Apple not being the first company to come up with an MP3 player, etc. So there are many companies that are successful not because they came out first, but because they were able to build the momentum and have more and more users use their products and services. So what you see in front of you here is Roger's innovation adoption curve, and what we talk about is as time passes by, you find that there are different profiles of people that jump into an innovation, that take up an innovation. So if you look at in the beginning here, you've got innovators. So about 2.5% of a certain population are innovators who jump onto a new development, a new innovation that takes place. And these innovators, like we said, constitute 2.5%. They're ready to prototype something. They're ready to try out something. They don't mind if this, product isn't functioning 100% well. They'd love to test out a better product. So those are the kind of profiles of people called innovators. Then you've got early adopters, which are people that come after that. And here you can see that the percentage of those people are about 13.5%. So the early adopters are people that would then, after the innovators have tested out and tried something, they would be people that would start using more and more the product or service that this new company has to offer. Now, the big challenge that companies have is crossing and moving from early adopters to the early majority. And a lot of companies that can cross what Rogers called this chasm make it towards success. But a lot of companies fail here. A lot of companies don't get to the stage where they cross that barrier. And some, companies that come after them actually make use of it and, cross that barrier because the first company, the first mover that made a certain activity or came up with this new product or service sort of educated the market, they tested it out, but then they weren't the ones that actually pulled it all the way through, and someone else came and took that. So Mubashir is saying, like Xerox, they made the PC, so absolutely. So Xerox could be a good example. They invented so many things, but they didn't capitalize on commercializing what they invented too well, except for the Xerox machine, of course, the copier. But they had the very innovative lab where they came up with even the mouse, some great developments in the whole IT world, but they weren't able to capitalize on that. Also Muhammad is talking about the Boeing 747, where Concorde didn't work, but the Boeing 747 won, even though Concorde had a lot of great innovations to it. So it's really how do you, a lot of challenges in innovation and a lot of challenges that innovative entrepreneurs face is making that crossover. And you need to have the breadth, you need to have the ability to hang in there to basically reach that stage. Hamad Hanif, of course, I know Xerox is a company, but they became synonymous with photocopying because they created the photocopying machine that in the past people would say, like, they would use Xerox as a verb. So go and Xerox this page, meaning to copy the page. That's how powerful they were in the photocopying area. But in other areas, they had a lot of innovations that they weren't able to capitalize on. So another topic which we'll just touch upon is disruptive innovation, which is a very interesting concept. I really encourage you to read more about it. But I'll just give you this example about Skype. Usually what you find with disruptive innovations is that they come up with a new technology that just changes the landscape. And in this case, as you can see with Skype and with many disruptive companies and innovations like that, what you start off with initially, early on, is that the technology is not really great. It has low quality, it's got maybe some bugs in it. So in Skype's first, days, which maybe a lot of you don't remember or were too young to remember, in the Skype's early days, the quality was really bad. I mean, voices would keep on cutting off. So a lot of the big telecom operators would say, Skype is not a threat to us. People still want to have good quality phones, so they will come back to us. So with time, though, the quality kept on improving, and this is what happens with disruptive technology. The quality keeps on improving until the time where it's as good as the products and services that are well established, and that's how it creeps into the market and just disrupts this whole market. So Skype has taken away a lot of revenue, a lot of money, a lot of business from the big telecoms that made a lot in the past, most of their money from international voice calls.